The World Eaters stand as one of the most tragic legions. Their descent into mindless, bloody carnage wasn't preordained, although it was a fate that lurked within their violent tendencies long before they were reunited with their Primarch. Angron, their supposed savior, was intended to be the force that channeled their aggression into a purposeful weapon against the enemies of mankind, akin to what Sanguinius did for the noble blood angels. However, what they found in Angron was far from the envisioned salvation. Instead of a balanced leader capable of reining in their rage, they encountered a shattered shell of a Primarch, a broken mess with an insatiable thirst for blood. Far from the beacon of hope they expected, Angron became a whimpering monster, further plunging the World Eaters into the depths of their tragic destiny. Today, we discuss the World Eaters, originally known as the Warhounds, before their reunion with their Primarch. As we delve into one of the most bloodthirsty legions and unravel all their mysteries. The 12th Legion, forged on Terra through an experimental screening process, hinted at its inherent aggression from the very beginning. While shrouded in uncertainty, historical fragments suggest the Legion's initial recruits were carefully chosen for their extraordinary aggression and unyielding competitiveness. This selection process laid the foundation for a force renowned for its ferocity, hot-blooded temperament, and savage tendencies. Entering the crucible of the Unification Wars, the Legion's inaugural skirmish was the Sa-Afric Liberation. However, following these initial clashes, the Legion perplexingly withdrew into the Imperial Reserve for the remainder of Terran unification and the conquest of the Sol system. Speculation surrounds their strategic withdrawal, from being held in reserve for unforeseen emergencies to clandestine murmurs of concerns about potential disloyalty within the Emperor's ranks. Undeterred, the Legion pressed on with unwavering growth and relentless training. Impressed by their unyielding dedication and savage prowess during combat engagements, the Emperor bestowed upon them the title of Warhounds, symbolized by a striking red hound insignia. The Warhounds were thrust into the forefront during the rebellion of the Imperial colony on Cerberus. With the Great Crusade in full swing and most Space Marine legions committed to expedition fleets, the Emperor activated the Warhounds to quell the insurrection. Their deployment to Cerberus, led by their commanding officer, swiftly crushed the rebellion, revealing scenes of gruesome carnage and significant casualties on both sides. Evolving alongside the Great Crusade, the Warhounds were subdivided into autonomous commands, each comprising thousands of Space Marines. Initially reserved as a strategic backup for other Crusade forces, these detachments evolved into elite frontline assault troops, often fighting alongside various legions. The Legion's core, approximately 8,000 legionaries, constituted the formidable 13th Expeditionary Fleet. As other legions outgrew the need for standing reserves, the scattered units of the Warhounds coalesced into the 13th Fleet on their muster world of Bot. Renowned for its formidable composition, including the Titans of Legio Audax and the warriors of the Numen Gun clans, the 13th Expeditionary Fleet earned the foreboding moniker the Bloody 13th. This intentional amalgamation served the War Council's strategic vision, providing a versatile force capable of deploying wherever absolute annihilation of the enemy was imperative. The war record of these diverse forces solidified the 13th Expeditionary Fleet's infamous reputation. After assuming leadership of the newly renamed World Eaters, Angron orchestrated a gathering of his forces on the craggy surface of Bot. With a reputation for the most rigorous, self-imposed training regimes among the Space Marine legions, the World Eaters, under Angron's tutelage, delved into uncharted extremes. They incorporated combat pits and gladiatorial clashes into their doctrines, each warrior adorned with the physical testaments of their struggles in the form of countless scars. Those who failed in these brutal trials found no reprieve. They were denied the chance to try again. Under Angron's relentless influence, the Terran martial traditions once present in the Warhounds were systematically replaced by the Primarch's gladiatorial ethos. As Angron led his newly formed World Eaters away from Bot, now symbolized by a fanged Maw emblem, the Legion had wholly embraced Angron's crimson ethos of brutal competition and the annihilation of the perceived feeble. However, despite this transformation, Angron's acknowledgement of his Legion remained elusive. Throughout their campaigns, he mandated that they conquer their targeted worlds within a span of 31 hours, the duration reflecting the single Nucerian day it took Angron and his army of slaves to achieve their greatest victory. Amidst Angron's relentless brutality, the World Eaters remained resolute in their pursuit of his elusive respect. Simultaneously, Angron tasked his Apothecarian, led by Galen Surlak, to replicate the infamous Butcher's Nails, a horrifying piece of technology that could enhance a warrior's aggression to untold levels, aiming to implant these enhanced devices into the minds of his legionaries. However, the early attempts at this process proved fatal to any Marine attempting the ordeal. Angron's disdain for what he deemed the weakness of his sons grew, culminating in his retreat to a feral world for 2 long years before Khan's persuasion reunited him with the Legion. Repeated failures by the World Eaters to meet Angron's stringent deadlines led to his merciless decree of decimation, demanding 1 in every 10 of his legionaries be executed by their peers. Following Centurion Mago's refusal to execute decimation after failing to bring Genna to compliance, Angron spiraled into a blood-soaked frenzy. He slaughtered numerous World Eaters before being subdued by his own librarians, igniting a crisis that saw Centurion Mago lead a revolt, fueled by Apothecary Galen Surlak's announcement of perfecting mass production of the Butcher's Nails within the Legion. Amidst this turmoil, Khan emerged as the first World Eater to endure the nails successfully. The result of an entire Space Marine Legion enhanced with these aggression-inducing implants culminated in the Genna Massacre, an unparalleled night of violence that witnessed the annihilation of an entire planetary population. The World Eaters swiftly evolved into a byword for large-scale carnage and violence. Their adversaries were not merely defeated or obliterated, they were systematically eradicated to the last being, their cities and fortresses razed. The legend of their brutality grew to such proportions that non-compliant worlds surrendered at the mere mention of the World Eaters' unleashing. Already shunned by fellow Space Marine legions, Angron's warriors invoked dread among Imperial citizens privy to their ruthless actions. Planets upon which the World Eaters descended weren't merely subdued, they were obliterated without mercy. Concerns among seasoned Imperial commanders, including Primarch Rabut Guilliman of the Ultramarines, mounted as they denounced Angron's atrocities during the cleansing of Arigata. Following Leman Russ's intervention, conveying the Emperor's decree for the World Eaters to cease self-implantation with aggression engines and halt massacres, a brief yet intense clash erupted between the World Eaters and Space Wolves. Angron bested Russ in single combat but faced encirclement, seemingly prepared to meet death at the hands of the Space Wolves if they chose so. As the grim events unfolded, the Emperor intervened, reprimanding Angron and banning the Butcher's Nails and similar psychosurgery. Ordering the World Eaters out of the primary line of the Great Crusade, he dispatched them to the far reaches of known space to combat Xenos threats, intending it as a punitive measure. Paradoxically, this exile allowed the World Eaters unrestricted operation without higher imperial oversight, persisting in practices forbidden by the Emperor. Recalled from their exile, the World Eaters' conduct remained a cause for concern. Turning to his favored son, the Warmaster Horus Lupercal, the Emperor entrusted him with the responsibility of guiding and overseeing the World Eaters, seeking to rein them in and restore more acceptable imperial behavior. Little did the Emperor anticipate the dire consequences this decision would precipitate. In the lead-up to the Horus Heresy, Horus successfully manipulated Angron, exploiting his discontent with the Emperor. This manipulation played a significant role during the war with the Orician technocracy, where Angron and the World Eaters, allied with the Sons of Horus, obliterated the Orician civilization to secure valuable STC machines, which could be used to persuade the Mechanicum to the War Master's cause. The betrayal on Istvan III revealed Angron's ruthless side. As part of Horus's war council, Angron advocated purging disloyal elements during the campaign, leading to the infamous viral bombardment and the Battle of Istvan III. Angron descended to the surface, engaging his own betrayed troops in close combat, forcing Horus to commit ground forces. The subsequent Battle of Istvan V, known as the Drop Site Massacre, witnessed the World Eaters causing havoc, particularly targeting the Raven Guard. A strange post-battle ritual involving stacking decapitated heads affected the psyche of surviving Raven Guard Marines. Angron joined Lorgar and the Word-Bearers in the Shadow Crusade against the Ultramar sector. Tensions arose due to the World Eaters' bloody diversions, but a common enemy in the Eldar forged a temporary alliance. Lorgar revealed his plan to save Angron from the Butcher's Nails, culminating in a transformative ritual on Nuceria. Nuceria, Angron's homeworld, became a battleground once again. Learning of the false narrative portraying him as a coward, Angron ordered the massacre of the entire planet. The Ultramarines, led by Guilliman, intervened, resulting in a chaotic ground war where Angron underwent a transformative ritual, becoming a transcendent being of rage. Post-transformation, the World Eaters, in a state of mindless slaughter, defied Horus's summons to muster at Ulanor. The Iron Warriors, under Perturabo, tracked down Angron on Deluge, eventually forcefully bringing them to heel. Some World Eaters remained in Ultramar, forming butcher fleets, terrorizing high-population areas independently. During the Siege of Terra, the World Eaters played a pivotal role, breaching the Imperial Palace walls. Though Angron's defeat at the hands of Sanguinius near the Eternity Gate led to chaos among the World Eaters, causing them to turn on their allies and contributing to the breakdown in the traitor advance. I personally quite like the World Eaters, particularly because of how miserable and self-destructive they are. You see, some of the legions were designed to be highly aggressive, like the World Eaters themselves and the Blood Angels. But the Blood Angels were brought back from their bloodlust by Sanguinius, who taught them to channel and control their violent urges as best as he could. This should have also happened to the World Eaters, had Angron not been implanted with the Butcher's Nails before he ever even met his legion. As Angron was known to possess a supernatural empathy, a power that could definitely be used to rein in his legion's worst tendencies. But as Angron was broken, he broke his legion, which was already filled with extremely violent and bloodthirsty individuals who desperately needed his guidance. He betrayed their trust and need for his approval by completely destroying them, just as he was destroyed. Now, all they do and can ever do is suffer, and the only way to alleviate this suffering is through bloodshed. There is no honor, no glory, merely senseless and relentless bloodshed. After all, the blood god demands blood, and that's the end of it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have a lot more stuff planned. As always, if you've enjoyed it, leave a comment with your thoughts and subscribe if you wish to see more content like this. I see you guys on the next video, or in the comments. I'm always lurking like a silent predator. Goodbye.